Okay, hey everyone. We're so excited that you're on here tonight. I'm so excited that Monica Hollister is joining us. Monica is an Emerald Ambassador with Plexus. I think that there might be some other things in the works to go even more up, right? Your team is on fire. Oh my goodness, it just boomed last month even more. It was really amazing. And so I just like to bring other jewels on here so you could hear their story of how they got there, maybe some of the, challenges and victories along the way, or just to have her come on and share her journey with us was my goal. Before I turn it over to her, so I don't forget, we do have a pop-up starting on Tuesday. So I posted about it on our team page. You can click on it to hit join. You probably won't be approved till tomorrow night, and then your people will be approved the next morning, but you can send that link out and tell your people to click join to be a part of it. But start inviting people, because it's a great time to use those codes for your new March newbies. So it's really exciting. But Monica's team grew by, Monica, you'll have to tell us how much they grew by, but we also just are really excited to hear about your story. So welcome to our team tonight, and I'm going to turn things over to you to share.
All right. Thank you, Catherine. I was really honored to have you ask me to share with you guys tonight. Catherine and I guess we've known each other for a while, but I feel like we got to talk and really get to know each other a lot more at the Ruby Retreat a few months back. And so I really enjoyed that a lot. And I'm excited to see you guys continue to move forward. Yes, last month was pretty incredible. My team grew by 446 ambassadors, which was insane. I mean, I don't have a good explanation for it beyond God. I mean, there was nothing else. I mean, we didn't do anything drastically different. God blessed. And, I was really hoping and praying for 100, because I knew it was going to be a big month with the free enrollments and stuff. And we had only had 16 on my entire Emerald team the month before. We recruited 16. And then we went to 446 last month. And so that's God, and that's some amazing leaders on my team as well. So I'm very, very thankful. And I guess I'll come back around to where I'm at right now, because I wanted to just share with you guys. Hopefully, I'm assuming that you guys haven't really heard my story yet. If you have, it's probably been a while. I realized recently that I actually don't really share my story. I think a lot of my own team probably doesn't know my story at this point, because I've been in for 5 years, and you kind of get to this point where you feel like everyone knows how I started and whatever, and you forget, oh, there's new people. I should probably come back to that. So anyway, I'm excited to share with you guys tonight. So I am just going to tell you a bit about my journey. I've been in Plexus for 5 years now, and I'm just going to share some of the lessons that I've learned along the way. Obviously not a comprehensive list of all my lessons, because there's been many, but just a few that popped out to me even today as I was thinking about this. So I have some notes there, just a jumbled up mess, so hopefully this will all come out in a logical way. But first off, I started 5 years ago. Last month was my 5-year anniversary, and Ruthie Horner is my sponsor. When I joined, I had no idea what Plexus was. I had no idea what I was doing by joining. Ruthie had just joined and just started going crazy about it on Facebook. I had never heard of it before that, but I was tired, and I was sick of being tired, and I just wanted energy, and that's what I was after. And so I joined to get the best prices. I'm sure a lot of us probably have that same story. I wanted the best pricing, but I really didn't understand what it was or what it could be. But I trusted Ruthie. She was my teacher in high school. So I jumped in, and really, even though I was not interested in the business at first, I was in real estate at the time. My husband and I were starting a home construction business, and he's also part owner of a commercial construction company. So we just had a lot of stuff going on, and I was not looking for another business at all. But I couldn't help but start reading. I am an info person. I love reading and research. And I started looking in the team pages, and I started seeing testimonies. And I saw, this was when Kristen Abart, I don't even know if she was Emerald yet, or maybe she had just hit Emerald. because Jarrett had actually just hit diamond like a couple months after I joined. Like everybody was it was very new, and it was so fun to watch them all ranking up and reading the stories and reading about the products and the ingredients in the products, whatever, like all that stuff combined. And then Ruthie started breathing belief into me. She saw the business opportunity from the start. Like that was why she joined, because she knew this could make a difference for her family. And so she started kind of whispering little things in my ear about, oh, we could go on stage together. We can go to the top together. We should do this. You can totally go all the way. And I'm like, you are crazy. Like I had never had anybody breathe belief into me like that. I had never had anybody really tell me you can do big things. And so at first I was just like, you're crazy. You know, like I'm introverted. I'm a homebody. I hate talking in front of people. Like I've done network marketing before, which I had done a couple other companies like 7 or 8 years prior. And I hated it. It was party companies where you had to lug all your stuff and you had to try to get people to do the parties. And I just hated it. And so at first I was like, no, there's no way. But within a couple of weeks, between her building belief in me and just talking to me and telling me she believed, and reading the information on the team pages, like I was sold, okay, this is something I need to share with people, because ultimately it's not about me, it's about them. And I have gold. Like I know I have gold from reading these testimonies. I have something that people need. And so I guess those are my first couple tips right there. Is one, your team needs to know that you believe in them, because they might not have any reason to believe that they can do this. But if you start breathing that into them, even if it doesn't seem like it does anything at first, if you continuously do that, I mean, it wasn't a 1 or 2 time thing with Ruthie. It was continuous for especially that first month to 2. Okay. So breathe belief into your new people. Tell them that they can do this. Tell them that you believe in them, and tell them why. Tell them what you see in them that makes you believe that they can do it. And honestly, this is a good reminder for me, because I'm not doing this enough myself. And then also make sure you put them in the team pages. If you're not putting them into Catherine's page and team wellness, like if you have this mentality of, oh, I don't want to overwhelm them, stop it. Just stop it. That's a negative scarcity mindset. No, you tell them excitedly, we have some great groups that I'd love to add you to. They're great resources for information on the products. And should you ever decide to pursue the business as well, like you tell them that this is the best thing. Like they want to be there, and this is exclusive. Like your attitude is going to determine their attitude. Okay. So as I was going forward, especially those first couple of months, but really probably the first 6 months, but especially those first couple, I remember a lot of self-doubt. I remember a lot of negative self-talk, where I was constantly questioning whether this is something that I should be doing. I was constantly questioning, can I really do this? Should I really do this? Is this all going to go downhill like next month? Are they going to go under and I look stupid? Am I like ruining my reputation forever? And really a lot of it was all very fear-based and selfishness-based, okay? But lots of negative self-talk and self-doubt. And I just want to tell you guys, that's normal. Self-doubt and insecurities are completely normal. We all have them. The difference is in you not letting those become your counselor. Okay, you cannot let your insecurities and your self-doubt guide your decisions. Okay, your decisions need to be based on truth, because your insecurities and whatever self-talk you're giving yourself, it's not truth. Okay, and obviously we need to let truth guide our decisions. So if you are a newer person and you're having a lot of that negative self-talk, or maybe you've been in this for a while and you feel stuck and you're starting to question, oh, is this really where I should be? Don't listen to that voice. Okay, you don't want that to be your guide. And so I'm thankful that I was able to push through that, and I kept going, and I can't even tell you all the reasons that I did. God, I still say, but God, for a lot of it, that he just gave me what I needed to keep pushing through, even when I felt like just scared about what I was doing. But, through that first summer, I joined in March, started working in the business in April. And through that first summer, I saw some growth. In August, I went with Wendy and Ruthie and Kim Trueblood. We drove all the way down to Tennessee from Minnesota to see Helen and Sonia. And that was a huge turning point really for me. That breathed a lot of belief into me. Just the camaraderie, of course, of driving down there and spending all that time together, but also seeing and hearing Helen and Sonia and just making that commitment. It was not easy. I had small kids at the time. I only had 3 at that point, but my youngest was like 1. And so, you know, you're juggling, trying to find sitters, and it was during the school year, making everything work. Maybe it wasn't during the school year, I don't know. But anyway, the point is we made it work because we were determined that this was what we were going to do, and we wanted to be successful, and we wanted to learn from successful people. So just be willing to do the hard things. Have that no excuses mentality. I mean, yes, of course, there's going to be some things that you have to miss here and there, but for the most part, you should be the person showing up to everything, and you should be at least considering these opportunities that come your way, even if it might take some investment in your money or your time or your resources. Be willing to do things and invest in your business. Shortly after that, I went gold. And then shortly after that, okay, this was another big turning point for me in my journey. Somebody in my church who had actually been asking questions of one of my ambassadors about Plexus, like he was interested, all of a sudden posted this like 10-page cult of Plexus like thing that he had written on Facebook. And it was based on a blog that was full of false information. I'm sure we've all seen those around, right? It's just false thing after false thing after false thing. And like he's basing his truth and his beliefs off of this blog rather than off of what his friends have told him. Now, I wasn't really a friend of his. We were acquaintances. But we had a lot of mutual friends. And a lot of them started commenting and like agreeing and kind of cheering him on. And that was really hard. That was really hard for me. I grew up in a small Baptist church in St. Francis, was there my entire life. I'm still there now. I went to the little school there, graduated from there, went to a small Baptist Bible college, and like my network was small, right? And so then when you see somebody starting to invade that network with their negativity about what you're doing, it hurts, right? And so that stalled me for a little while. I remember for a few days I could not bring myself to post. It was just like, is this really what I want? Do I want to be that person? Is there some truth to what he's saying? And I kind of had to go through and just combat each thing with my own knowledge of what I knew was truth. And I had to keep telling myself, okay, truth, what is the truth here? And I guess for myself, what worked for me was kind of reasoning myself out of it and using logic. But it was still hard. And it was kind of that, I think that was the point when I drew my line in the sand, where it was like, I have to just stop caring about what people think. I don't care about what he thinks. He doesn't know what he doesn't know. And all those other people, I'm still going to be their friends. I'm going to still smile at them and say hello if I pass them at church on Sunday. I'm not going to let it get to me. They can think what they want. I'm doing what I know I need to do, and I'm going to keep going forward with my blinders on. And that was the decision I had to come to. And I think we all have to come to that point in our journey, and it might be a different thing that gets you there. But you have to come to that point where you're like, I am moving forward. I don't care what's going on around me. This is where I'm going, and focus. Okay. And so that kind of leads into my another lesson, which is just that hard seasons are necessary. We have to embrace them. We have to be willing to take the good and the bad, right? And when I say bad, I kind of put that in quotes because we have to have challenges. If we don't have anything challenging us, we're not going to grow. We're not going to learn. We're not going to get better. And it's not going to mean anything either. I mean, if you got to Emerald, easy peasy, like breeze, like you didn't have to work for it, or maybe you worked for it, but you didn't have to come across you didn't have to go over any obstacles. Like it would not mean the same thing, would it? Like, I don't think so. Honestly, it took me 3 years to get to Emerald, and I felt like that was way too long. But looking back, it's like, wow, there's no way I would have been ready for that anytime sooner. Like, it happened when it needed to happen, when I was ready, right? And so we have to be willing to take on those challenges and not see them as negative things, but actually see them as positive things. And while they're hard and they're not fun, just decide you're going to learn through it, and you're not going to let it discourage you. I posted a quote on my wall the other day that I thought was fitting. It's from Lisa, I can't say her last name, turquoise, I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. God is using all of your experiences, both good and bad, to develop your character to match your calling. So if you believe that this is where God has you, this is your calling from God, then you need to move forward and take those challenges as God trying to, it's his way of developing your character so that you can really fulfill what he has for you in this opportunity. Okay, so the other thing I want to talk about too is that you have what it takes to go all the way in this. You really do. I don't care what your personality is. I don't care if you're an introvert or an extrovert, or if you love fun, or if you love being at home with your family, or if you are an information person, or if you're the type of person that just wants, the fun, whatever, you know what I mean? Whether you're green or blue or black or whatever, like this is for everybody, but you have to be willing to develop yourself. Okay, so that doesn't mean you can stay the way you are and get to where you want to go. You have to be willing to develop yourself and learn about yourself, learn about your personality, learn about your strengths and your weaknesses, because it's going to help you to understand what you need to improve. You have to have a level of self-awareness, I think, in order to get to a position of leadership like this. You have to be willing to look at who you are and look at your weaknesses and really see them for what they are and accept them, right? And be humble enough to take critique from people. Okay, so I think one of my biggest weaknesses, honestly, and still sometimes can be, is my realism. Is anyone here a realist? Logical minded? Okay, so this might hurt, I'm sorry, but realism is basically pessimism. Okay, if you're saying I'm just being real with you, if somebody says that to you, it's pretty much a red flag. They're about to say something really negative. Okay, and obviously there is a place for realism. I'm not, but I'm not going to go into that. But I realized that I was using that as an excuse for one thing. Well, I just want to be realistic about this. Well, no, I'm being negative. And I think sometimes we can be really negative and not even realize that that's what we're being. And so it's really important to acknowledge that and become aware of that. So that was one thing that I had to become aware of in my journey, is that, wow, I'm not as positive a person as I thought I was, just because I can be really nice to everybody around me and not get grumpy about stuff. That doesn't mean I'm positive if I'm still in my head thinking things. Another thing I've been thinking about a lot lately along those lines is that superficial positivity counts for nothing. So if you're saying a lot of positive things because you know it's the right thing to say, if you are even affirmations, if you're doing your affirmations, but they're not getting to your heart, if it's just a superficial thing that you're just doing, I've caught myself doing this because this is the way I know. I know not to say certain things to my upline, like Ruthie, Wendy, Rachel, because they're gonna call me out on it, and they're gonna tell me you're being negative. You need to reword that. There was a time in my journey where I didn't want to talk to Ruthie. I did not want to talk to her about anything because I felt like she was calling me out on everything. It's like, I just want to tell her what I think, but she gets on me about what I'm saying, and you know what I mean? So I had to come to a place where, wow, well, she's right. I'm being negative, and I really do need to change the way I think about this. But I found that even after I had learned that, and I feel like that's helped me a ton, my true feelings will come out with my husband. Does anybody find that? Like, you might say one thing to your team or to your leader, and then you're like in the car with your husband, and all of a sudden, like, this negativity comes out. Like, yeah, there's no way I'm really gonna meet that goal. Like, I realize that my positivity is still a little bit more superficial than it ought to be. And he actually calls me out on it now. I've talked to him enough, and he's learned enough from what he's gone to that he'll tell me, are you supposed to talk like that? And so now it's all around me. So I really have to change. But so I just want to encourage you guys, don't let whatever your personality is be an excuse for not moving forward or thinking that you can't do this. And make sure that your mindset is really right. Mindset is huge. I have a couple people on my team one in particular, Carrie Halfley. She's my level 3, and last month she recruited 19 people. She had never done that before. I don't know what her high had been in the past, maybe 5 or 6 on a really great month. And she recruited 20 people last month. And let me tell you, it was a mindset shift that happened for her. And that's why that happened. It wasn't because she had some new technique or some new method of contacting people. She just became more attractive because her mindset shifted. And so mindset is everything, you guys. You have to be genuinely excited and passionate and positive about where you're going and what this business is and what it's doing for your family. So I feel like I don't know how much time I've been going here. Okay, so it's hard to cover 5 years quickly, but so then I hit Emerald 3 years in, and that was awesome, amazing. One lesson I learned in that was that big goals are not selfish. And the only way that they're selfish is if you don't pull your team into them. Okay. So, when I was planning on going Emerald, I don't even think I told my team until like maybe 10 days before the end of the month, which was so stupid. Like, you have to tell your team about your goals. And sometimes you might think that that's flipped. Like, oh, well, I don't want to try to get them to do this for me. Well, it's not about you. When you have a big goal, you bring your whole team up with you. Okay. My team page is called United to Rise. When we're doing something together, we all rise. It's not like I hit Sapphire without anybody else doing anything good or having their paychecks go up. Obviously there's new people coming on, new people who are, getting this hope for their health and their finances. So by you having big goals, it's not a selfish thing. It's actually quite the opposite. You're helping so many people by going after something big and doing it together with your team. And that's what I learned when I went for Emerald. I'm not going to go too much into that, but okay. So then it's been 2 years now, 2 years since I went Emerald, and it's a great place to be parked. I'm not going to complain. I'm never going to complain. Right. But honestly, there hasn't been a lot of growth. I'll just be real with you. I kind of parked around the 2000 mark, and then kind of went back a little bit around 1800, and then I'd go kind of up towards 2000, and I'd go back a little bit. So it was like I kind of felt like, okay, this is just not really going anywhere here. But I knew from past, like all of my ranks, I really kind of parked at for a while, and I knew I just have to keep learning. I just have to keep developing my leadership skills. I know this is going to take off again, and that's what happened last month. I think it's just a lesson, and you have to be consistent. You have to keep moving forward. You have to keep being positive, even when things maybe aren't going as fast as you want them to. And so, like I said before, like this growth that we have now, it really, I don't feel has anything to do with anything that I all of a sudden did. It's just myself and my leaders. I have amazing leaders on my team, just being consistent, doing the things, continuing to learn, continuing to develop. And now, yes, this month our goal is Sapphire, to hit Sapphire at the end of this month, which I only had 2,075 points last month. I mean, only, but you need 3,000. So that's 2/3 of the way, right? That'll be a huge jump. But with a month like last month, and my point is, a lot can happen in a month, you guys. And there's a lot of people on my team who saw like their businesses double last year or quadruple last month. Okay, so a lot can change in 1 month. Ruthie and Wendy and I were talking a couple days ago about how different our conversation was at the end of February compared to right now. I mean, it's like what, 40 days ago? Like, but not like we were having negative conversations back then, but it was like, okay, what can we do to get things moving forward? We need to get some momentum. And we changed, we changed the team name to Team Wellness Momentum Makers, because we wanted, and this was Wendy, she's visionary. She wanted to really cast that vision for us that we are a team of momentum makers. And anyway, so then we get to the beginning of April, and it's like, whoa, what just happened? Like, it's amazing. So if you guys are if you're feeling discouraged, a lot can change really fast. Just keep being consistent, keep sharing, keep learning, and you will reach your goals. So I think that's about all I have. I can take questions, or if Catherine, you want to say anything?
Just wow. No, that was great. I love that. That's Like, isn't that, I'm inspired. I'm so inspired, right? I think so many of us can relate to that up, down thing you're talking about, and just keep going. So, and it's inspiring because I do have an amazing team of leaders on here tonight and some others that are not on here. And it's like, I believe that this team can do the same thing, and it's like, but that was fantastic. Yeah. Does anyone have questions for Monica? Not you, Beth.
Like your daughter might.
I'm supposed to wait 7 seconds. But they tell us teachers to let people think. What questions do you have? How did you get through some of your fears of, you said like talking in front of people or maybe like even doing this or doing videos,
By doing it.
Yes. Yep.
Well, and honestly, I mean, I wouldn't even say that the fear is completely gone. I mean, I still wouldn't say I enjoy trainings. Well, I don't mind it once I get going. It's the prep work for me. Like, I'm the type that I want to have everything figured out that I'm going to say, and then I'm cool as long as I feel well prepared. But it's that preparation that stresses me out. Like, what am I going to talk about and whatever, So because of that, it's still, I find myself resisting opportunities to speak because it stresses me out. Vital Biome does help though. So it's still something that I feel like I even need to just be trying to do more, like actually intentionally doing more. And I think that the more I do that, the more it'll just become more natural. But I mean, ultimately it's just doing it and being willing to be bad at it too.
Anyone else have a question? How do you inspire new people? Like, what are some of your, what are some of the things you say to your new people to show them the vision of what could, or the vision of what
Okay.
you do?
Sure. I don't know if there's like, I'm not one that has like a set, this is what I do. I mean, I try to, but I wouldn't say that there's anything specific that sticks out, except that I do try to go through the back office with my new ambassadors and also my level ones. I have them connect their new ambassadors with myself, and we'll try to do a Zoom and screen share. And then we can show them, and as I go through the back office, and this is for wholesale people too, I will explain the different like boxes in there, and then we'll go to the compensation plan chart and I'll explain things on there and kind of talk about the ways we get paid that relate to them the most. And in the process, my obviously my purpose is to give them vision for what this could be, how quickly they could earn some money. Especially with this new Fast Start Silver, I definitely tell them about that right from the beginning. I do make sure that I'll tell them, I will never ever push you into doing the business or doing more than you want to do, but it is my responsibility to make sure you know what this is and what it could be for you, and you can take it or leave it. And so if you ask somebody or put it out there like that, nobody's going to tell you, no, you can't tell me about that. They'll listen. And that's really what got Wendy to decide that she was doing the business, was Kristen talking to her through the back office on the phone was what got her to just start thinking, hey, this actually could be what changes things for me, instead of being this financial stressor where it's taken out of my food budget, So I think just taking them through that and letting them know what this is and letting them know how they can start making money, just the simple things. So.
Very good. Anyone else have a question? Beth does.
So you seem kind of like am I right that you're agreeing you're kind of a detailed person, at least?
Yeah. Depends on the day a little bit, but.
Yeah. As a detailed person, I guess, how how do you deal with, you said how you bring in new people, but do you feel like you get overwhelmed at all with, as you continue to grow, the new people that are coming in and then the other leaders, and then trying to still recruit as well, and just keeping on top of everything
Sure.
without feeling like you're losing some of your balls in the air, sort of?
Losing your mind, basically.
Yeah.
I have days where I feel like I just might be losing my mind. I'm not going to lie, but that's only because when that happens, it's because I'm focusing on the wrong things. And if you are developing leaders and you're, your level ones, it'll balance itself out, So yes, I like help with three-way calls, obviously with my level ones. We don't get to every new ambassador, but there's times when, I don't let my schedule get too crazy. Like I will tell them, no, I'm not available till Thursday. We can plug you in on Thursday. Like I'm not one that's going to do back to back. You have to, this is where knowing yourself comes in handy too. Like I know my limits. And I don't want to become that crazy, like frazzled mom that can't handle everything. And so you do have to be willing to say no to some things and set boundaries. And when you also have to realize there's seasons of your business, right? Where things are a little bit more slow. And then there's seasons like last month where it's like all these new people. And yeah, there's no way that I can make a personal connection with 400 people, right? But I can just focus on the people that I am supposed to take care of the most. So obviously, first off, my new level ones, I need to focus in on those, and those need to be my priority. And then, then going to my level twos and just do your best, like I don't expect myself to be perfect. And I think you have to be willing to do that too. Like you can't be all things to everybody. So just a lot of it's mental, right? And then also when I take the time in the morning to set my day right, obviously by starting it in the word and praying. Like I've been convicted of this so many times of trying to do this business by myself when I have God right there wanting to help me, right? Like, why do I try to do it by myself? So I think just, learning those things that overwhelm you and then trying to figure out, okay, proactively and intentionally, how can I, help that not to happen so much? Like for myself, like a very packed schedule that kind of gets me a little anxious, so I try not to let that happen too much. I mean, obviously you have to be willing to be uncomfortable and do things too. I can't just sit in my house by myself and not talk to anybody all day either. But anyway, I hope that helped a little bit. Hey, my daughter has the same sweatshirt as her.
What?
Her favorite.
She said the unicorn one?
Yeah.
Yeah. She said her daughter has the same little sweatshirt as you. She has the unicorn one.
Totally unrelated to anything.
This is one of my little basketball players from this morning. So she's all ready for bed already. Well, thank you so much, Monica. This was super awesome. And I think we all benefited from it and were inspired by it. So thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure to have you on here and to get to know you a little bit better in the last year. And so I hope everybody here has that opportunity to meet you in person someday, maybe at convention, right? So, and I hope that you all have a good night. But thanks for joining us, everyone. And
yeah,
thanks for coming. I really appreciate it.
Good night.